runs it through the algorithm, and it looks at the agents that are in the area. So when you onboarded, you put in a home zip code, a radius you work, a property type that you work, when you're available, uses your info to see what clients and what agents can work together. Once it's determined who's eligible, it's going to stack everybody in a numerical cadence, and that's according to that score on your CRM. I'm sure you've seen that when you started out, you have a score of 100. So from there, as you try and claim leads, answer the phone when the sales associate calls, keeping your weekly update, just being active on the platform, all that stuff is going to keep your score going up. And the higher your score gets, the higher in the call cadence you're going to be, or the message cadence, a lot more likely that you're going to be able to claim a lead. So we send out the messages one by one. It is not a round robin. It's individual. It's pretty quick paced. So I'm not saying there's a minute or two in between each message, but every 5 or 10 seconds, we send out another message. As soon as one of y'all can click the claim button on the referral app, you're going to get that notification. Hurry up and click claim as quick as you can. They're going to give you a phone call, and they're going to give you all the information from the client to include a date and a time that they want to meet. The reason that we give you a date and a time is that we've shown that around 75% of folks end up purchasing with the first agent that they meet in person. And so we try and get that date set and make sure you're available. If everything sounds good on the phone, you tell them you want to work with the client. They're going to merge that call, and you'll get the live introduction to the client on the phone. There will be no cold call scenarios with this program. You can't claim a lead and then tell them you want the name and email and you'll get a hold of them later. You have to have time to answer the phone and at least talk to the client a minute and set some time later on for when you'd be available to speak. So any questions on the dispatch process initially?
So dispatching between 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, I'm assuming.
Yes, Central Standard Time. Our operation hours are 7 to 11,
Okay.
and we're centrally located, so we start on the one coast and go to the other.
Let me ask you a question. With some of these training videos, I'm not taking leads, right? So I didn't get any of the welcoming training videos or any of that stuff. So maybe you can send that to me, or should I ask myself? I see myself as like the owner, administrative person, but I can't see the leads. I can't see the data. I can't. There was nothing for me to see. So what?
You will now that everyone's onboarded,
Okay.
and now that the brokerage is up and running. Once we get done here, I can go back,
Yeah.
and I want to say I initially sent it. I might have sent it to Catherine. I'm going to send you a link that's your broker dashboard, and you're going to view every agent that's on your platform, where they're at with each client, all their updates. You can work or operate on their behalf if you need, and all their performance metrics, the market and the map that you're in. You'll get the broker dashboard, and we'll talk about that later on when I get it sent to you.
Yeah.
Yep. And you also get notified when one of your agents have been sent a lead. It's going to give you like a little, I call it a live feed on the side. Is hey, Tony was referred a client 5 hours ago.
Right. Well, okay. And, Mike Reed ended up taking 14 leads as we were adding people, and just, me being off, I'm just getting back to work. But, it made it seem like it was just pushing through to a text message or something when we were pulling it out, but every single lead's going to come through like a live transfer to us, right?
Yes, so you have to be able to answer the phone. So there's 3 ways to receive the notification, and you get to select on your referral manager in your settings, whether it's text, email, or the most efficient way is the app. So you download the app, and it literally comes across just like an email notification from Amazon comes across.
This is realtor.com app, or is it another app?
It is it's the OpCity app, OPCITY. Mark, when you onboarded, did it give you the link to download the OpCity app?
Yeah, but then when I went to onboard, it so that had an old account, and I think somebody fixed that.
Yeah, you're my you're not included in this other issue. You're kind of a special because you have an OpCity previous account. I'm going to just transfer your information to put you under this new account.
Okay.
So
because I noticed, previously I wasn't getting anything, and when it popped up it on yesterday, I noticed a lead had come through and attempted to claim it because I hadn't been in there in a long time because I had re-downloaded it. But I was wondering if what I had was like an old account. It looked like I had
I would actually put yourself in do not disturb mode right now. Just that way you don't, if you received a lead and I haven't put you under this brokerage yet, you're obviously active under someone else's account, which isn't correct. But you can
Okay,
freeze
I just
that.
did. I
Okay.
just disabled it.
Yeah. So, and then when we get done here, and I'll be able to go in and transfer everything to get you under the right brokerage, make sure your information's correct.
Okay,
Are you
cool.
going to use the same email and the same phone number as a contact, or did you get a new email with the new brokerage?
I use the same email and phone number, I believe. I have this, it's the
Okay.
same that I had from before. So
Okay. Yep. I'll be able to take care of that for you.
okay.
Alrighty. So
Yeah, do a brother Marine proud, bro. Come on.
Hoorah. We've got dispatch release methods. So when you have clients that aren't going to close, it's just going to happen. People are untruthful about the situation, or maybe they don't understand the realities of the market. So when you find people that aren't going to close, you're simply going to go in, select their name in the referral manager, and release them. Give a reason as to why. There's like 10 or 12 dispositions, as well as you can make a personal note. And that comes back to the release lead center. This is just timeout. You're not giving up the client, even if they're $1 million client they're going to buy next year when Grand gives them money. We'll hold on to that and get them back in touch with you at the callback date, or if they ever get back online and make a new inquiry or attempt to contact a new agent through our program, we're going to push them to get back in touch with you, as long as you haven't put anything super like negative on the note. So if you put down when you release them that Bob cussed at me and no showed on one of the viewings, we're not going to get you back in touch with that. But if all is well and you're still available, we are going to get that client back in touch with you. And there's no limit on time as to how far out that has to be. So even if it's 2 years from now, if it's somebody we've introduced you to in the past, we're going to get that connection rekindled and try and get them back with you if possible.
Okay, I have a question about this right here. It seems like you're trying to take some of the data management off of our plate. What I
Yeah.
saw, and I know Steve said we have to update the app and we have to do all these different things, but it kind of creates some additional work for us if we can't, zap the lead into Boomtown and do a couple other things that we traditionally would do with the lead, which is fine if we're going to get quality
We
lead,
can
higher price.
we can make it go into Boomtown. We can get your metadata address and send you to partner support, and then via that metadata address, anything that we send to your OpCity CRM, it will automatically send to your Boomtown. A lot of the purpose for that is to cross-reference and make sure that we're not handing you a client that you've already worked with via like another lead source, or just somebody you've met in the past. If you met Bob 2 years ago at a bar and you helped him purchase his first property, and he happened to get online and goes through our system, and we introduce him to Tony, but Tony worked with him 2 years ago, as long as you have some way to show that, you go in and you release that client within 48 hours, and we don't hold a contract over them. So that's kind of the joy of the Boomtown in our system being able to talk is, if you've received it from someone else in the past, I'm not saying we're going to look into it every time, but if you release enough, we're going to be like, hey, do you have some data on an email,
Right.
old phone calls, something? We need to be able to prove that they were a prior client, but you do get to release those.
All right. So, okay, that makes sense. So we're going to use the OpCity app to update, the 4 or 5 metrics that you guys are looking for from us, but it will still push the Boomtown and then push that data over there. Then as long as we meet your requirements, we can still handle it in Boomtown any way that we want. Besides letting you guys know if we got under contract or whatever, then we go back into OpCity and update it there as well.
Yes.
Okay, let me ask you another question, because we're running SkySlope and I'm about to implement Zuzu for tracking and stuff like that. Does it still work with those two tech pieces of tech?
I honestly, I just know of 2 or 3 that work for sure, because I've had previous clients that we've made it work. There's too many different software programs out there for me to know what all works. But as soon as we're done here, I've got a contact that I can get you in touch with that's a senior broker success rep, a lot more knowledge and information on getting people set up with other software programs to cross-reference and talk to each other. He'll know more about that.
All right.
Yep.
Because it seemed like there was, from some of the teams I seen yesterday, there was just some some fragmented parts of their system. It was creating some duplication, and it leads into my next question, what you told Catherine. And now it makes a little more sense if we're getting a live transfer, because I was just going to funnel all this stuff through ISA, but then she said it couldn't go to an ISA, it's got to go to an agent. And in terms of now the live transfer makes a little more sense.
This program is really, it's important that you don't let a team leader or kind of a head honcho
right.
pull leads and try and like refer them out to which agent they pick. This is not how that system works. So everybody has to receive their own lead. Everybody has to run their own referral manager,
Yeah.
answer their own leads and their own calls and messages. Yeah, it gets super messy if one person tries to give 2 or 3 agents leads, especially if they tank that referral manager score. Now everybody's in the tank.
Yeah, no, I seen that. So that makes, so you can divvy out your variance if you have a bad agent or you got to kick somebody out the program for a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, Steve seemed pretty strict, and
Yeah.
people yesterday, 3 teams said they were kicking agents off of it. And it was just shocking to me. But okay, so the ISA piece, okay, we got that. Now the next thing is we got co-marketing partners, right? And then also we launched a lending piece, and I talked to Steve about that.
Mm-hmm.
And Jeff Willems also owns a lending company and a title company, so he was, telling me how Jeff was, maneuvering and working through some of that, and I know that you guys, this is the whole thing. You guys are getting your money back off referral and title, and how you guys
Got breakfast.
But how do we know if you have what title companies or mortgage companies in this area that we have to use? I've never seen a list. I've never seen
Perfect.
like that.
And I was going to cover the partner offerings. That's a large portion of
Right.
this program and process. So we're pretty proud at the fact that we convert these online leads at 3 times the national average rate, and a lot of that is from the partner offerings.
Yeah.
So I don't have a master list for who the lending and title partners are, but there's nothing in the contract that says that you have to work with them. We just want you to keep an open mind to it. In the end all be all, we want the client to have the best rates and services. So if your lending partners can offer that, more so than who they've been introduced to through the Op City program,
Right.
that's who we want them to work with.
Well, no, I get the suggestion piece to it because of RESPA for sure. But this, Steve was pretty adamant with making it clear with me how this is going to go in terms of ratios and tracking and everything. But what I'm saying is, like, you're transferring them to an agent. Are you transferring them also if they want to talk to a mortgage court person?
Yes.
Somebody else?
Yes.
So, like, we don't have to worry about that piece of it. You guys
No.
are selling.
So how that works is through the scripting process.
Right.
We try and navigate them towards getting pre-qualified. That's how we'd have it every way or every time if we could.
Mm-hmm.
But if we get them convinced of it, we make a live transfer to a loan officer first. We give them 15, 20 minutes, and then we call them back, and then we introduce them to the agent. And then the agent gets an email with the loan officer's name, contact info, and all that information.
Mm-hmm.
So you can work in correlation with the loan officer to keep the client on the straight and narrow to close. And otherwise, you don't have, there's the loan officer title portion or the credit repair that we offer the client for services.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to continue or find or work on that side. We just let you know who it is, and what you do with it is totally up to you from there.
All right.
Yep.
And then with the broker piece of this obviously is this isn't profitable for splitting business a couple of different ways. Like, and this senior broker rep, he might also give us some suggestions and I could reach out to maybe Kyle Whistle. I've known him a while. I know they're kind of crushing it with this, but some of the team structure, like, how do you see some of these people setting it up? Like, help us understand, is it 35% under 150,000 and 40% over or under?
Yeah, so we'll cover the pricing in full here. It's going to be all this. The fee is based on the gross commission that's collected by your brokerage on the side of the transaction that's referred over by realtor.com. And if you want a copy of that verbiage, I can give it to you, Adam. I've got it typed out.
Yeah, if you could send it to me.
Yeah, a lot of people like that. I'll give you the full paragraph of this pricing and scripting, and also it's in a posted copy on your agreement that you signed as well. You can always go back and review it, but I'll send you a fresh email. So it's going to be 30%. This is non-negotiable, by the way. These are set for the whole nation. Every broker pays the same. 30% for properties below 150,000. 35% for properties above 150,000, and 35% for any leasing and renting if you choose to partake in that. we have all different types of clients, so you get to pick what types you want to work with. A lot of folks opt out of that leasing and renting, but if you do partake, it is 35.
I mean,
That fee,
yeah, it's not a big thing in our market, but I've seen that Steve wants you to do some of those to kind of prove yourself and the 3 closings and the algorithms to get you bumped up, or
that's
however we're going to get to this exclusive relationship. But
yeah. So in order to get to that experienced mode where you can set more preferences and life gets a lot better, or it gets a lot easier per se, and the higher valued leads, yeah, it doesn't matter what closes you make. So if you can manage to make 3 leasing closes or 3 land, or it doesn't matter how big or how small, just
okay,
find 3 closes.
because I'm like, we're not in the we're not in a leasing game. It's not a big, it's not a market for us. It's not.
Yeah.
So that makes a little more sense.
Yeah. For most people, it's not. But again, if you want to find 3 quick closes so you can get that experience level, if you want to go about it by working leases for a little while,
We'll
then
do,
by all means.
we'll do it the traditional way or the hard way, whatever. I don't.
Yeah.
I mean,
I just know that in some markets, especially like I know Wichita, I'm actually really familiar with Wichita. I'm from Concordia, just north of y'all, so I'm not a stranger to your land.
yeah.
Um, I know the leasing and renting market's not huge in Wichita as far as price range.
Mhm.
That typically works out a little more for people in New York, California, Florida, people who pay 3 and 4 and 5,000 a month for lease and rent. Those percentages work out pretty well, so you can always opt out of those.
All right.
Um,
Let me ask you about the coaching piece to this. So Steve said I have to make these coaching calls every other week, right?
Mhm.
And what, like, I think I was off on my time zone with that. Like, that's at 11:30 Central. Like, what time is that call every other week? Because
So is it going to be with him?
it's with whatever happened yesterday. I got sent the recording. I ended up having to watch it yesterday recorded because we were off on time zones. So, like, what time zone is Steve setting these appointments in, or how does that?
That's honestly don't know a lot of what Steve does. You'll have to ask Steve.
Okay,
Yep.
so there's only one coaching call, and he said the owner has to make it until they get through whatever we got to get through, and then he said you could have a sub partner or a lead manager or whatever show up. Are them the only calls that we're required to make? Because he said that we have to be on these calls, given our numbers every other week.
That's the program that Stevie's running. You'd have to ask questions about that to him. I'm a little bit detached from what the process that Stevie takes you guys through. I'm kind of like his contact here, but it's through someone. So I'm not real kosher on, or I'm not real familiar on what Stevie does for like those call-ins or checkups or meetings or anything.
I mean, I think I got enough resources here and a few actionable items. I think I understand a little more of this process. Expectations will kind of get clear over probably the next, 4 to 6 weeks. But I mean,
Yeah.
anybody else have any other questions?
Man, I'm
Um,
solid.
there was
Is there
just
anything, Kevin, is there anything I need to do? You said you're gonna change over my account, anything I need or you need from
no,
me?
just go as soon as I get you transferred over here when we're done, log into your portal and make sure that you're not delinquent. Do you have any old agents in your account yet? Are you still carrying any old clientele?
I don't believe there's any in there
Okay.
still. I think they've all either been released
Okay.
or whatever.
Yeah, the only time we'd run into issues is if you're holding old clientele and once I activate you under the new brokerage that you'd still be delinquent due to non-update. Um, there was one more portion to that pricing. It is based on the gross commission collected by the brokerage on the side of the transaction that's referred over by realtor.com. We do view it the same way that RESPA does. So anything on the closing docs, bonuses, administration fees, that all is included. Buyer cash rewards market. If this comes to your area, we have the ability to charge up to 40% referral fee. We say up to, but the 38% or the buyer cash rewards program is a 38% referral fee. We just leave 40 for future room and new programs. 38% referral fee for buyer cash rewards. We have just incentivized clients to stop agent hopping. If they're going to buy a home over 150,000, if they're going to purchase within a predetermined market that we've selected, and they're going to purchase with the first agent we introduce them to on this program, they're going to get a cashback return or a nest bundle package based on the purchase price of their home. So that's what that 3% is. We keep the original 35 base, and then that 3% gets kicked back to the client. You have the option to not take those clientele. If you get on the phone, the sales associate's going to tell you, hey, you've got a buyer cash rewards eligible client. This may incur a higher referral fee. Do you still wish to work with this person? You can always say no. There's no penalty for not saying no. And otherwise, that is pretty much, your weekly update. Your release methods are there. You've got you covered on the pricing. We can definitely, I'll get you and Adam, I'll get you in touch with Donnie about some of that metadata address stuff so we can see who all our system will talk to. Otherwise, it's pretty straightforward. You guys are in good hands with Stevie. He'll be able to coach you well.
Yeah.
Hey, Kevin, on the notification modes for whether it comes as a push call, an SMN text, is there one? I only see that there's 2 notification modes. I have a mobile push and an SMS text. Is one better than the other, or does it matter?
App and notification. App and notification is the most efficient way to receive any notification.
I don't even see that as a notification mode option.
So I'm pretty sure that we list. So you have email, text, and then just the notification is the app. So as long as you have that turned on, you're good. If you've downloaded the app and you have the notifications on, that's going to be your most efficient way. Yep.
Okay. Yeah, this is through the app that I'm looking for.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
All right.
That's exactly it. So, and again, Adam, these guys already have their agent portals. I'm going to get you your broker portal. I'm going to send it to you so you can look at it. I'll resend that link and you'll be able to view everyone's information.
And then if I want to add additional people or not, if I would want to, or am I going to be able to do that?
There's a blue add agent button over on the side.
These are 2 other owners on a call as well. Like they're the ones actually around the office, and as
Okay.
we're going to be slamming a lot more leads through and bringing more agents on. So I need them to also have that broker access.
Yeah, and you can put them when I send you the link. I'll send you a link for your broker dashboard, and then you have the agent invite button. Click on it, and you're going to see where it's invite agents, invite admins. So if you got some of them owners that you want to add on, under your account, you can make them admins so they can log in. And then when you guys invite agents, again, you just click that add agent invite button, and you put in their email, their first and last name. Always select emerging. I'm sure that Stevie told you that. Everyone has to come in on the emerging program. So we get harped at pretty hard over here if we don't relay that enough and brokers start adding people in the experience mode. So we want everyone to come in on the emerging platform.
Yeah, I get it. He wants you to prove yourself and not mess up your numbers. So it makes sense.
Keep the validity and trueness to the performance-based platform. We want everybody to start out.
So the broker access is just the admin button. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you like I said, if you have guys you want to add for admin, they get to view the same thing on the broker dashboard. They just don't have to use your email and password to log in.
Right. That's what I mean. All right.
Yep.
Thank you.
And you can add, terminate. You've got 100%, 101% power on your broker dashboard. You can go in and change everybody's settings as an agent. You can act on their behalf, and you can turn people off, terminate them. You get to see if they've done the training, if they've downloaded the app, all that.
Okay. All right, man. I think.
All righty.
I'm good for now.
Well, if y'all have any questions, shoot me an email. Email is just the best way to get a hold of me. I spend all day on the phone, so we'll play phone tag if you try and call. But send me an email. I'll get you your answers. And Adam, I'll get you the rest of the information that you need, and we'll get shored up.
All right. Appreciate you, man.
All right, guys. Enjoy it and get out there and kill it. When you eat, we all eat. So let's break bread.
Thanks, man.